Greetings. I've been using these LED lamps in my outside lights for a few months, and the reason I've brought these in today is that they've gone. One is still working, as you can see, and they're quite nice and bright, although they claim to be 40 watts and they're definitely not. They're more like 14 watts. But these two have packed in. So I thought I'd take a look at them and show you what's gone wrong. If I pop this cover off on this one, the wires, one of the wires broke off this one when I took it out anyway. As you can see, it's a fairly simple capacitive dropper driver. Here's the schematic, and as you can see, there's 170 LEDs on here, and they're all arranged in parallel arrays of 5 with 3 sets of 5, so 15 on each of these vertical strips, and 4 sets of 5, so you've got 20 on the lid. And if I zoom in on one of the lamps, you can see what's happened here. I went through testing these to see which ones were working, which ones weren't, and some of them didn't seem to light up when I was metering across. You know, whether those ones needed a slightly higher drive voltage and the other ones were sort of gutsing it all, or whether they've all failed, I don't know. But what I did find when I got to the top was these ones, which have got the black dots on them. So what I think has happened is one has failed, and all the rest of the current for the rest of the lamps is then running through all four, the remaining 4. So you can see the next one's failed with a slightly bigger black spot, and a bigger one, and a bigger one, and the biggest of all, and then bang, that's the whole string down because all 5 have failed. And a similar thing happened with this one. Let's just pop that out. This time it's not on the lid, it's on, let's see if I can find which one it is. I haven't got them marked. There we go. You can see again we've got a block of 5, all of which have got black dots on them, indicating that they've packed in. So I should be able to fix this by desoldering the top cap and replacing that with a good one from here. So at least I'll get 2 of them. I'll get 2 working out of the 3. Obviously the one is still fine on the side of the house, and once that's up and running, then I'll be able to have a quick look to see if the rest of the LEDs are all working, and go from there. So let's try and swap that out. Right, that's that strip swapped out. I only needed to desolder the one either side of that. Was all that it took to be able to pry it back, because they've got there's a little sticky out bit at each end, so undoing the 3 was enough to be able to pry it back and pop it free. So let's find out. I'll pop the end cap on if it works. Let's go for the grey one in the middle. Will it work, or is it dead? It works, but it is not in particularly good shape. In fact, it is in atrocious shape. Let's zoom in on that and see if I can dial down the camera and see what's gone. There we go, that's the camera dialed right down, and you can see that a lot of these LEDs have failed. So in this case, we can see we're down to 2 out of the whole 5, and it seems to be mainly this side that is defective. So it looks like I'll have to change quite a few others. The top one has 3 separate LEDs out. I'm not sure whether any of those are in a set, but it looks like out of all these we've got only 1 of these entire sets of LEDs is actually fully intact. So that's going to go again soon enough. So clearly the quality control on these things is pretty poor. And when I was testing this one and I was getting a lot of LEDs which weren't lit on this one, chances are it's the same as that. What I've got is loads of, where I couldn't light them is because, yeah, they wouldn't light because they're already gone. I'll pick out some more of these strips and see if I can get it any better. That's a little more respectable. Only 21 out of the 170 LEDs are now dead. I may replace the rest, actually by replacing the LEDs themselves, swapping them off the other boards. I don't know why they've failed, because these aren't really being overdriven. I've looked at data sheets for similar LEDs and they should be able to drive these at over 100 milliamps a piece, which surprised me, but these aren't going to be driven that hard. If they were being driven to get 40 watts on the whole fitting, then yes, fair enough, you're talking about a quarter of a watt per bulb, per LED, but they're definitely not being driven that hard. So, and yet they're still failing at not even half power, which is a shame. Anyway, let's see what one of these strips will do if I drive it at its full rated power. I've got this power supply set for constant current mode, and as soon as I start to dial up the current and this lights, the voltage on the strip stops at 7.9 volts. And that works out as a forward voltage of just under 2.64 volts per LED. And if the manufacturer was correct and wasn't just lying through their teeth, to drive this at 40 watts, I'd need 3.5 watts per strip, which at 7.9 volts per strip, because they're in parallel blocks of 5 and there's 3 in series, I should need 89 milliamps per LED or 446 milliamps for the whole strip. So let's see what happens when I dial this up. The voltage has climbed up. So let me just recalculate that. At that voltage, I should need just 350 milliamps for the whole strip to run at full power. So we can do it. But not for long. You can see another LED is gone. But presumably this would have worked had the LEDs not started to pack in already. I've just driven everything through that last LED now, so obviously it's struggling. Let's try the same thing with another strip. There's a lot less working on here. Yeah, there's 1 gone there, there's 3 gone there, so I can only drive this at 140 milliamps, I suppose. Let's take it up to 140. Another one started to fail. It may be that these would work better if they had a decent, like, aluminium backed circuit board instead of just these things. But in a nutshell, the manufacturers are definitely lying about the performance of these. You can see, I can certainly see that this is much brighter than that. Anyway, I'm starting to waffle now. I'm going way off. I really should have scripted this. So I hope you found amongst this waffle something useful or possibly interesting. Thanks for watching.